This is Castlevania, Lords of Shadow, M-, Mirror of Fate HD.
That's a lot of punctuation.
It is a spin-off game, originally an exclusive for the Nintendo 3DS. It was then re-released for Windows, PS3, and Xbox 360. And joining me, as always, is PD Precious Roy.
Howdy.
And we have a special guest with us. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Chaos Argate.
Hi, I'm here.
So, as you can see, we have our wonderful title screen. Just as vibrant and exciting as the first game.
Only 2 save slots.
That's one more than the first game had. you couldn't even delete it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You may also notice the weird aspect ratio. That is an artifact left over from this game being a 3DS exclusive. This was a real rush job on the port over to PC and consoles.
I had to switch this over to theater remote to see what you're, the normal mode from theater remote to see what you're talking about. Yeah, okay, I see it now.
Yeah, there's some jail bars.
Yeah, I think that is relative to what the 3DS aspect ratio is.
Yeah, 400 by 240 is the resolution, so it's not quite 16 by 9. Oh, these are some models.
Yeah. I am recently wrapping up a contract with a YouTube channel called Animation Sins. By the time this is done, it'll be over, but it has taught me a lot about linear animation and a lack of flow, and I'm really noticing it in these cutscenes.
I didn't even think that was a cutscene until they moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was supposed to be like a storybook kind of intro.
I also like how Marie and Gabriel just had one night, and the next morning she already knows that she's pregnant just after one night of lovemaking. So this takes place 1 year before the first game. So this is before Gabriel becomes Dracula, before any of the events. Keeping that in mind, this game really goes out of its way to really retroactively show the darker side of the Brotherhood of Light.
Yeah, he's already a little emo, so,
a little bit of a post-coital mission.
Oh boy, I sure do love kidding. Oh.
So Mirror of Fate tries, and I do need to emphasize, tries to take the combat and exploration from the first game and put it in 2D. It does not work.
I never imagined God of War style gameplay could really shine in 2D.
Yeah, you'll see the problems with it are going to be pretty obvious right away.
Oh, there's our boy.
Yeah, it's pretty standard 2-button combat plus the jump. The big problem is just it's the 2D plate itself. Is just and also the fact that the Y attack is now more of vertical attacks, because you can't really put the emphasis on horizontal range now since it's all 2D.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Y attacks are now more about height.
It's an interesting take on this.
That's not inherently a bad way of doing it.
Yeah, it's just when we get into combat design, you'll see the way that they place enemies, and it's also extremely clunky. Like Gabriel here has all the moves unlocked. Once we start seeing later with less moves, it doesn't work. Also, I don't think you could save those fellow knights.
Not surprised. Also, it is throwing me off a little bit that these wolves are standing side by side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that too. It's like they're trying to do faux 3D planes, and it's just messing with me.
Like there are beat 'em up games that are strictly on a 2D plane, like not even the isometric ones that work well. that I've played in the past. Like
Oh, yeah.
like Henry Hatsworth in the Puzzling Adventure for the DS does it really well, and that's purely 2D. It still keeps the synchronized block from the first game. It's very overpowered now, because you're attacking everything in front of you.
Yeah, I imagine when you've only got a forwards and backwards, attacking rapidly in a huge range would be a bit much.
Yeah, they really front loads the cutscenes in the intro.
I mean, what better place to do your exposition, I guess?
Ooh! Oh, Gabriel, that didn't look so good.
Is this the best the pathetic Brotherhood of Light can say?
You'll notice that this random enemy is basically just Richard Ridings doing his Cornell voice from the first game. In fact, I'm pretty sure that line was just recycled as like a line they didn't use from the first game. Richard Ridings does have a different character later on. In fact, they actually had to give him extra credit and pay him more in order to use that recycled line.
Huh.
And then it's not even a boss fight. Come on.
No,
Did he just catch a Pokemon?
I think he did.
Riding Chew, I choose you. I just want to say, graphically, this doesn't look bad, and then I catch stuff out of the corner of my eye like that running water.
I think to get the true experience, we need to like step back from our monitors several feet.
Yes, and also put 2 different monitors on top so you get a 3D effect.
You have seen it, Marie. The mirror has shown you Gabriel's fate.
I have no idea why Pan is here. He doesn't have any allegiance to the Brotherhood. He was like specifically neutral.
His lineage will be the only one.
It's specifically an excuse to recycle Pan, I guess.
Oh, hi there, Trevor Belmont.
Yep, that's Trevor. Also, this guy, you'll remember I told you to look out for Cardinal Volpe. That's him.
Oh.
That's the only time you see him. Also, this is Marie's only line in the game. And we never see her again.
Wait, really? Oh my god.
Did she at least get a voice acting credit for that?
No, because it was a stock sound effect.
Oh my god.
This feels so empty without Sir Patrick Stewart narrating it.
It really does.
What it reminds me of is actually that opening crawl from Uwe Boll's Alone in the Dark movie.
Oh my god. I'm going to be saying that a lot during this, aren't I?
I don't know why, but this opening credits thing it's in the shape of like a sandwich, I think.
It is. I never noticed that.
Oh my god, they were playing Burger Time. You're right.
Like that had to have been an accident, but I can't look at that and not think it's a burger.
Yeah, this is just catching us up to speed on both the first game as well as the implications later on. But no, we're going to be playing with Simon. Forget Trevor. We're going straight to Simon Belmont.
A good choice. I mean...
Run, Simon, don't stop!
And yes, that is meant to be Sypha. We won't be seeing much of her. Don't get excited.
Run! Run!
That has to be the worst showing of any iteration of Sypha.
My car!
Oh, Castlevania, what did they do to your lore?
There actually is some pretty interesting stuff they do later on. Mostly with the implications of the crossing of the Belmont bloodline with Dracula, which gets really interesting. So this game is split into 3 acts. Each one follows a different Belmont. We're going to start off as Simon. And since Gabriel had the combat cross, Simon does not have the vampire killer, since the combat cross was the vampire killer in this continuity. His whip has a different name. He has the Beast Hunter.
Is there a reason he actually uses a whip in this continuity, or is it just a thing he does?
I think it's just because it's the standard for vampire hunters, and for the Brotherhood in general, because the combat cross was designed as a ragged whip-like weapon.
It's kind of the Brotherhood's sidearm, the standard issue.
Okay, so there is a reason for it then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Renato Gandolfi also exists in this timeline. He created the combat cross.
I guess some things never change.
They really just took all the old games, put them in a blender, screamed "Will it blend?" and then poured it into a set of disc cases.
Yeah, the comparison,
and that's how Lord of Shadow was born.
The comparison I made earlier in the LP was that this is the comic book movie version of Castlevania, where they just grab elements from the earlier source material and see what works.
That doesn't sound like a bad analogy.
Yeah, so this is the starting town that you would see in any in any sort of Castlevania 2D game. The scrolls are also back, although I don't really like the scrolls in this one. They're much darker than they were in the first game.
But how are they compared to like a Yoko Taro weapon story?
No, they're not that dark. But in the first game they were a lot more melodramatic, and there was like a bit of fourth wall breaking to them almost. This one, it's just death, destruction, and despair to a ridiculous amount. It just doesn't fit the tone with the rest of the game.
Oh.
Did he...
Okay, you wanted the throwing axe, right? Here it is. Here's the throwing axe.
Oh, thank you!
Yep, sub-weapons make a return. Although you don't start out with that many. You have a cap of 5 to begin with.
What is that arc?
Yeah, sub-weapons.
How did that work?
You can increase the arc slightly by charging it, which also sets the axe on fire, and will cause the enemy to take damage over time.
Oh man, if I play this, like my muscle memory of the classic axe would throw me off so hard.
Did they play Castlevania before they set out to make Castlevania?
This game got delayed. The 3DS version of this game got delayed at least once, just because they wanted to make sure certain parts of the gameplay were more polished. But I guess the point I think they wanted to do was they wanted to find that compromise between pleasing older Castlevania fans while also maintaining the new style of combat. And I think they just succeeded in pissing off both camps, because the combat's not tight enough to please fans who liked the old games, the new games, and it's not good enough for to bring the classic fans back who were turned off by Lords of Shadow. So really, this is the game for nobody.
Yeah, this is a lose-lose situation. This is Kobayashi Maru, the game, the movie, the interactive visual novel.
Exactly. Well, they do have a map. The map kind of reminds me of... There was an XBLA Metroidvania called Shadow Complex. It was one of the first real attempts to bring back the Metroidvania on a bigger scale, like outside of indie games. The minimap kind of reminds me of that. Also, since this was a 3DS game, it wanted you to be able to put notes on the map.
Because he had to do something with the stylus.
Question.
Yeah.
Does this game have fall damage?
Yes.
That sounds so wrong for a Metroidvania.
Yeah, including instant death after a certain amount.
Oh!
Anyway, I put a note here, reminding myself to come back later for this one. You could also move it around if you want, or make a new note, delete it. If you have another note that already exists, you can move it to a different square if you want.
But wait, are you limited to one note?
No, you can actually put up to 50 notes at a time. You see that number next to the quill.
Well, that's not too bad.
I'm kind of curious how you leave messages on like the console versions. Like, do you actually have to use the keyboard?
No, I assume that it brings up like the
virtual keyboard. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think it brings up the keyboard, or like on the PSN version, like it'll bring up that weird sort of touch tone phone keypad thing or whatever or whatever the PS3 had.
Yeah, the virtual keyboard.
Yeah.
Was that a Digimon?
Yeah, that's one of the new characters to Mirror of Fate. We'll be seeing him later.
I'm glad you don't have to pick up a specific soul or shard to go swimming in this game.
Yeah, that's they've streamlined a lot of the powers. They're actually it is streamlined to a fault. You have to pick up the bestiary. Or individual pages in the bestiary. One thing I do like is that they have idle animations that are unique to the bestiary. That is kind of cute.
That's really neat, actually. Yeah.
Although the strengths and weaknesses that they have to certain sub-weapons, I cannot figure out the legend for those icons. Like in the first game, it was actually pretty clear as to what each icon meant. I still have not figured it out. And I'm not going to, because I'm never playing this game again.
The most I got from that was that zombies are weak to axe.
They're skull to axe and shiny skull to sparkly axe.
Sometimes you just gotta bedazzle your axe, man. I mean...
Alright, so the merman... Oh, yeah, and when you level up, you just get new skills. It's an entirely linear level up system. Very disappointing, especially since you, in the first game, you got XP and you could unlock stuff from a skill tree. So mermen are pretty simple. They have a lunging forward unblockable attack that's easy to dodge. I do like that they at least maintain the really aggressive finishing moves from the first game.
It's a nice little treat.
Yeah, and you don't need to do QTEs in order to activate them. That was always annoying.
Is it faster to just climb across or faster to jump all the way?
I don't know in what context, but
no, I'm just wondering if it would be faster just like mash A while climbing on those ropes.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay.
It works under God of War rules that way.
Okay. I cannot get over the axe throwing animation. It looks so
out of place. It's really really awkward.
There are later sub weapons that are better, at least.
I want to see what they do with the dagger. To see what direction they take that.
There is no dagger. but there are some new sub-weapons that are pretty interesting.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah. Well, there are plenty of bad things that are amusingly bad rather than merely disappointing.
Who the hell are you? Stand aside.
I don't understand what that thing is supposed to be.
You'll find out eventually.
No. No! Show me more, damn it! That's not enough. I need to see more. That's the battle cross my father carried. Is it still in the castle? I am here to avenge the death of my parents. I mean to end the evil that rules here. Will you stand in my way? I need to recover that weapon. Will you help me find
Well, I'm not technically standing, so...
All right, we're... Damn it!
I'm so confused.
Simon's voice actor is Alec Newman. He's not as high profile as some of the other actors that have been in the Lords of Shadow games so far. Although he did play Victor Frankenstein in a 2004 U.S. TV miniseries of Frankenstein opposite Donald Sutherland. So that's interesting. I think he was also in one of the adaptations of Dune. I can't remember which. Come on, Simon. That was worth at least $500 on eBay.
Going by usual Metroid logic, that should have given him a new power or something.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he should have turned into a ball or shot missiles or...
You say that. Hey, how about that?
The spirit of Spellnades?
Yep. I just call it the raincoat, because that's what it looks like. It's basically a protective shield. Now, you use up magic and absorb damage. So, Simon is not officially a member of the Brotherhood, so he doesn't have light and shadow magic like Gabriel did. So instead, he has the raincoat.
Sypha, I'm so sorry for what they did to you.
Okay, I really aggressively use fast forward in the first two videos, but ease up on it later. Also, I'm pointing out here, you can finally block in midair.
And you can air dash.
Which is something that was conspicuously missing from the first game. Caused a lot of trouble, especially in the DLC final boss.
Okay, so I've seen one improvement so far.
Mind you, that was probably just an improvement that was retroactively included because it's also in Lords of Shadow 2. Anyway, moving forward here, the raincoat can also protect you from these deadly ghost sprites.
Huh. That's all they could think of to do with Sypha. Just have her be a protective shield.
I guess so. Well, I mean, you know what you know what they say about a mother's love.
No, they also killed her off. Like, give them some credit.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know if this is actually given some of the context. I don't know if this is actually meant to be Sypha or not, because there's something else that comes up later in the game that could be. I don't know. I don't know my lore as well as as well as you do chaos. But anyway, this is what I do know is that this is a really annoying puzzle. I cut out a lot of backtracking here because I kept forgetting the order of it. It basically relies on you having to preserve your magic resources in a certain order. And you only get a break when you have those fonts over there to refill your magic. Yeah, really the only exploit you can have is when you roll into those deadly ghost waterfalls.
I'm gonna laugh every time the Sypha umbrella shows up.
It is. A mother's love really is like an umbrella.
I feel good about this trek, Ma. It's gonna be a good trek.
So that means that a mother's love is working under Harry Potter rules.
Oh no.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
So we can assume that we can assume that Sypha pleaded for Simon's life beforehand and sacrificed her life specifically out of love, and that is the only protection. But it only works on ghost waterfalls is the thing. It's a very, very contextual magic.
And steam traps.
Also, I'm not gonna lie, the new icon there under the map, the way it looks right now, honestly, it makes me think of the Polterpup from Luigi's Mansion for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Also, unclear level design.
What?
Yeah, I thought that was the way to go. Turns out I had the right idea the first time. Also, you have to redo this puzzle when you die here.
Gross.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, this is... I mean, the worst thing about this is, like, it's not like this is... I mean, some Igavania games can be really aggressive with their checkpointing. This game autosaves a lot, but it autosaves at really particular points. This is the way down, which you can only see if you point the analog stick down to look down. Basically, it's a Mighty Number 9 style leap of faith.
That's also gross.
Yeah, the level design is not good.
Yeah, I'm starting to see the flaws here, bud.
Yeah, and I did manage to cut out about half of my playthrough. You're seeing a tightly abridged version of what I went through.
Wow, those harpies don't look obnoxious to fight at all.
I actually found out that there's a fairly consistent way to fight the harpies.
Oh, is there?
And a fairly consistent way to fight most enemies, at least on normal.
Because I was gonna say, like, they're the exact type of enemy the axe sub-weapon is meant for. If you know, you still threw the axe up.
Yeah.
Details.
Yeah, game design. Who needs it?
We have a series of mechanics that have all been mashed together to make a Metroidvania. Let's just ship it. They're popular, right?
Alright, so if I'm remembering correctly, yes, I think we're going to actually come up to a fairly decent boss fight in a minute or two. But first, we have another happy-go-lucky scroll.
Riveting stuff.
Yeah. Like Roy, you remember the scrolls from the first game. There were some dark ones, but it was never this. It was just... It wasn't like this. This is just is just excessive.
Yeah, it wasn't blasting, terrible, terrible things at a funeral or something like that. It was listening to Linkin Park at the Hot Topic at the worst.
Yeah. All right, so we have our first boss fight. This is against the Night Watchman.
And a couple of villains he borrowed from the set of Ruby, apparently.
So I actually do like this fight. Most of the boss fights in this game are good, I will say. Especially the climactic boss fights in Acts 2 and 3 are quite good.
Wait, does the axe pick him up if he's down?
It hurts him, but it doesn't stagger him.
Well, I get that, but like he was like down on the ground. I thought, and you throwing the axe like picked him back up for more combos. Which, if it does do that, that's actually kind of cool. I like that.
I'm gonna have to go back at the footage, but I'm pretty sure it didn't do anything. The one strategy I did find was synchronized blocks. Work well with them. Although the raincoat kind of interferes with synchronized block timing because it will prioritize. Its window for prioritizing blocked damage is wider than the synchronized block window.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, so basically, Sypha is kill stealing from you.
Stop spawn camping, Ma!
Please, I can do this on my own.
How am I supposed
Helicopter parenting.
How am I supposed to leave the house if you keep taking all my damage from me? You were making a Luigi's Mansion comparison before.
Wasn't expecting an actual Luigi's Mansion thing to be here.
This is it. The deadliest game of limbo in Castlevania history. I just like how the edge of his lamp consistently clips through Simon's neck during that QTE.
That is honestly a lot more forgivable when you're working at a 240p resolution.
Yeah, and also when you have like 6 months to turn a 3DS game into an HD re-release.
Yeah, I don't know who thought that was gonna be a good idea. I mean, it worked out great for you for, capturing video, but...
Yeah, like I don't have a 3DS. I had a DS in college, like 10, 12 years ago, but that was then.
I gotta say, this doesn't look awful graphically. Like, there's a lot of little nagging things, but it looks pretty good, and it probably looked okay on the 3DS, and I'm gonna say something that's probably gonna be controversial. I think Bloodstain may have ripped this off a little.
In what way?
Just a lot of the stylistic elements, I think, look very similar to it. Only, the other way around, right? Like, I feel like some of the devs may have played this. Like,
I don't think that would be an unreasonable claim to make. That... honestly speaking, I think Bloodstain and... I'm sorry, did he just kill himself?
He tried to get a desperation attack, but, oops. He forgot he didn't have the glowy.
Huh. Well, as I was gonna say, I think the common point there between both of this and Bloodstain is that they're both drawing from, like, gothic horror.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize the video was over, so...
That's okay.
Yeah,
happens to me all the time.
All right. Well, next time we'll Next time we'll continue the incredible, gripping adventures of Simon Belmont. And we may end up finding out what the hell is up with that Shade person, and we may end up meeting a new / old maybe character. Who knows?